Democrats to try to regain some control. And, the interesting perspective from this is that I think a lot of, and this shows the difference between the mindset of a progressive and the mindset of a conservative, of a Tea Party conservative, of an American patriot. Keep in mind that this is exactly what these people are feeling. This is exactly how I think the vast majority of Republicans and conservatives and Tea Party patriots felt for 8 years during Barack Obama. They felt like they had, certainly during the first 4 years when we had the Obama-Pelosi trifecta, we had no representation. We had nobody to look out for us. We knew that if Barack Obama were to seat a Supreme Court justice, it was most likely going to be somebody who loosely interpreted and applied the Constitution. It would be a jurist who would most likely rubber stamp a progressive Democratic agenda. That's what some of the big concerns were, certainly with Sotomayor and certainly with Kagan. Now, there are some people who have extolled the virtues of these individuals and said, well, they are objective people. All right. So, like with everything, we can find some cases that we like, that we feel as though they've voted favorably. And then we can also find those that we would say, well, we disagree with how they applied constitutional principles. But the bottom line is that for the 8 years of Obama, we didn't have representation. So we felt exactly the way these people are feeling right now. The only difference is we had a respect for law and order. We had a respect for personal responsibility. We had an understanding of morals. We had an understanding of ethics. And so we were able to control ourselves. We didn't allow, like a spoiled 5-year-old child, we did not allow our emotions to get the best of us. But this is exactly how you would expect a dysregulated 5 or 6-year-old child to behave when they start feeling elevated levels of anxiety. They have a breakdown. They have a meltdown because they don't know how to get rid of that sense of anxiety. So they have that emotional meltdown. And that's what we're seeing with progressives today. Now, I think they're absolutely doing themselves a disservice because the vast majority of Americans, the exact same vast majority of Americans that Chuck Schumer today came out and said, well, they certainly can see the writing on the wall with Blasey Ford, and they agree with her and they don't agree with Kavanaugh. Well, that same majority of people that Chuck Schumer was referring to, I think, look at the temper tantrums. That's what they are. They're temper tantrums of today's progressive left and say, no, this is not a party that would ever represent us. This is not a party that we would ever want to have in a position of power or authority over anybody else. We need to make sure that we maintain this majority. We need to make sure that we are sending quality, constitutional, conservative Republicans to Capitol Hill. I believe come November, that's what's going to happen.
All right. Now, you had mentioned, of course, the gentleman, and I use that term loosely, who was charged with doxing the senators and putting the information out on Wikipedia, the connections there to the Democratic Party. But a lot of shenanigans on the left, a lot of really stuff approaching on criminal behavior, in my view, on the left, the Democratic Socialist. First of all, working from Christine Blasey Ford upward, I mean, can you say perjury with Ford? I mean, to me, she was she was a political hack and used as a political hack. Now that the left is done with them, they're going to, put her in the trunk of a Ford, perhaps. But anyway.
Yeah, they say she was used as much as if not worse than Kavanaugh. But I don't buy that.
I mean, she got her 15 minutes and $1 million. But okay, but working from Ford up. Go ahead.
I don't think Kavanaugh was used in any way. First of all, Kavanaugh went into this process knowing full well that he was going to face a tremendous amount of partisan opposition to his appointment. Or to his nomination. There's no question about that. But I think it also, you have to look at it from the sense of what the consequences are as well, too. Now, look at Blasey Ford, for instance. Is there evidence that Blasey Ford perjured herself? Absolutely. I think a lot of people would look at the written testimony that she has. A lot of people would look at the testimony that she gave, juxtapose that or compare and contrast that with the documents that came forward, and say there are tremendous inconsistencies in that. And if she was inconsistent under oath, well, it certainly isn't, I believe, a stretch to be able to make a connection with perjury. But let's assume for a moment that she did perjure herself. what are the consequences for her perjuring herself? Do you think that if she perjured herself, she's ever going to see the inside of the jail cell? Do you think she's ever going to go to jail?
No, but she should.
Okay, well, okay, but what should happen and what actually will happen aside? What would happen to her? What's going to happen to her? What's the worst that's going to happen to her?
You know what? You just described in your question what the hell is wrong with this country. The lack of accountability, personal accountability, and the lack of the willingness of those people in charge to punish the people who are committing perjury and other crimes. In my view, that's just my opinion.
Well, let's establish some connections here, first of all. Okay. Before we do that, let me finish my thought here with one point. Everything from this point forward is only uphill. Things can only get better for Blasey Ford. Now, people say there's a meme running around. It's a picture of a woman being pushed out of a truck while the truck is in motion. The truck represents the Democrats, and of course, the body falling out of the car is Blasey Ford. As soon as he winds up getting nominated, they're going to dump her like third-period French. And you know what? The Democrats may dump her like third-period French. But I'll tell you something. Here's a person. First of all, she's got, what, $1 million sitting in a GoFundMe account? Okay? So the last time I checked, $1 million was certainly not a punishment. Now, this money is earmarked for Airfinger's, quote, attorney's fees. Well, her attorneys are all working pro bono on this. They've all admitted they're not being paid. So where's this $1 million? What legal fees is this $1 million being raised to offset? No, it's a slush fund for her. It's her payment for a job well done. Now, she's going to sit there and pocket $1 million, okay, after taxes, whatever, $600,000, $700,000. Who cares? She's still she's still north of $500,000. Not a bad paycheck for going on national TV and contriving some outlandish story about how you were a victim of sexual assault at some alcohol-soaked party 36 years ago. But what else does she stand to gain? You think she stands to gain, I don't know, maybe a contributor position or a consulting position at, I don't know, maybe CNN or MSNBC?
She's had ties to the CIA working, when we covered this last week when you were on, we covered her ties, her acquaintances, her career FBI acquaintance. Yes, and I agree. You know, this is that's exactly what happens when people go from the government to the private sector, is they're rewarded with these high-paying, cushy jobs in corporations. And I have no doubt, you know, she'll get some kind of job that, you know, secures her future and her family's future in a way that she wouldn't have got otherwise.
The way that saints are created in the Roman Catholic Church, this woman stands to be canonized by liberal academia. Could you imagine? Having Christine Blasey Ford, the victim of sexual assault, the face of victimhood of toxic masculinity, now teaching at your liberal academic college or university? Wow, that's an amazing thing. How about a book deal? You think for the next 5 years, she's not going to have 1 or 2 books that are going to come out? Hell, there could even be a made-for-TV movie showing up on Lifetime, because men are bad and they'll hurt you.
Yeah, and folks, we are talking with Keith Hansen. The phone lines are open. We want to hear your calls for Keith at 844-769-2944. The number again, 844-769-2944.
Don't make us call you.
Call in to talk about any political topic that's on your mind. The 2018 midterms, this blue wave versus red wave, this Kavanaugh media circus and Supreme Court nomination process, and anything and everything in between. This is your one chance to talk to Keith Hansen on the Hagman Report. So again, give us a call, 844-769-2944. As we just opened the phone lines, we'll let callers file in, and then we'll start taking their calls.
And the number is on the screen. So if you're watching this, there is the number in case you're slow on the uptake, as I would be. So, all right. Well, you keep going, Keith, man. You're on a roll.
All of the advantages that Christine Blasey Ford has. Now, think about this. Now, even if she were to perjure herself, okay, she stands to lose nothing. She's never, ever going to be brought up on criminal charges. She's never going to be put in a jail cell. She only stands to benefit from this. But here's the thing. What if Brett Kavanaugh, if evidence came forward and they were able to bring charges of perjury against Brett Kavanaugh, what does that man stand to lose?
Everything.
That man stands to lose everything.
Not only
That's why
this
she was
nomination, but his standing in employment as a appeals court judge.
If you cannot trust this person, I mean, if this person has perjury charge, now that's a huge character flaw. That's a trust issue. And so if you can't trust this guy, there's absolutely no way in hell he will ever keep his job. So this guy, how old is he? 52, 53? How old is he exactly? He's in his early 50s.
Yeah.
So this guy in his early 50s, his career is done. He is done. He's done. And nobody will ever touch him. Liberal academia will never touch him. He's never going to get a professorship. He's never going to get a teaching position. At best, he could hope for maybe a book deal, but that's about it. When you look at the advantages of Blasey Ford versus Brett Kavanaugh, every advantage is in Blasey Ford's court. And, here's, the other thing when you look at this is something that's been building up. We've been talking about the wave of feminism in this country. We've been discussing why feminism is taking root and what the origins, going back to Marx and Engels, and even before that, going all the way back to Aristotle and the proper versus perverse forms of government. That the patriarchy has always been established as that which tyranny flows from, because the patriarchy, it's nepotistic. It controls the means of production and the means of wealth distribution. So the feminist, the modern feminist, is a useful idiot for people that want to destroy the man, that want to destroy this perception of patriarchy, because this is how they perceive the means of bringing about income equality and economic equality to this world. And so when you look at it, this really stems, this whole thing with Blasey Ford stems from this. Because, and I do believe this is Democrats' attempts to try to gain back the people who they lost during the 2016 presidential election. Remember, who was supposed, remember the whole movement, the hashtag, I'm with her?
Oh, yeah.
That was the Hillary. That was the Hillary church. I'm with her. I'm with her. And so Hillary believed that by virtue of the fact that she was a woman and all of these other women out there, you're in the sorority, you're in the sisterhood of women. So Hillary Clinton believed that all of these soccer moms, all of these middle-class suburban women were going to line up to vote for her en masse simply because she was a woman. And Donald Trump, of course, he was painted as a misogynist. This is somebody who hates women, who doesn't like women at all. It's kind of hard to explain why women have risen to such positions of prominence within his corporations and his administration. But that notwithstanding, they underestimated the intelligence of female voters in this country.
I agree with that.
What I think this is about an attempt to try to gain back the people who were lost during that 2016 presidential election.
Absolutely.
Because think about Brett Kavanaugh, excuse me. Brett Kavanaugh represents everything that is toxically masculine about men. Here's a white guy from a privileged family who went to an outstanding school, great reputation. Okay, he's your typical, fist-bumping, beer-drinking brat throw. And so any single woman who has ever been victimized by a person who Brett Kavanaugh epitomizes, this is your opportunity to exact revenge and exact justice against a person who perpetrated these acts of sexual assault against you. And remember, the way that liberal academia defines sexual assault, it's not just groping, it's not just rape, it's not unauthorized or unwelcome sexual contact. It's something as simple as an unwanted sexual comment or an unwanted sexual advance, a pickup line. How about that? Yeah. So if you're a woman and you've ever had a drunk guy come up to you in a bar and try to hit on you, congratulations. In the eyes of liberal academia in this country, you're a victim of sexual assault. And here's your opportunity to get back at every single one of those overprivileged, toxically masculine guys who had the nerve, the audacity to go up and try to pick you up in a bar, or compliment you on your dress, or make some off-the-cuff comment to you, or maybe whistle at you or catcall you while you walk down the street. Here's your opportunity to stick it to them. And unfortunately, the sacrificial lamb is Brett Kavanaugh. And I believe that's what the Democrats were banking on. They were going to pull back all of these women who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton by helping them to realize that at the core, Republicans are nothing more than a good old